When was the first time that you experienced a hacker in an online video game? I'll try my best to recreate my personal experience right here for you. See, this game is called Guns the Duel, and this hack is called Insane Massive, and it was in fact insane. Hacking in video games has been around since, when were video games invented? That's the answer, probably. As a matter of fact, I just learned about this absolute Chad named John Draper, who became one of the first people ever credited with hacking anything when he hacked into telephone landlines and somehow was able to make free phone calls in 1971. That's dope, man. Good for you, John. Proud of you. John's a pretty good guy in my book, but you know who isn't? This douchebag aimbotting in my Counter-Strike lobby. So, how did we get here? From John Draper to guy cheating in my Counter-Strike lobby? Well, the short answer is by being a narcissistic toolbag, but I'll expand a little more than that for you. Hacking or cheating wasn't even always really a negative thing in video games. As a matter of fact, I can remember the time in my life when I realized that hacking was in fact a negative thing in games. Let me introduce you to a little old friend of mine, the Game Shark. If you're my age, you know what this is all about. And if you're any older than me, then you probably had the Game Genie. And if you're any older than the guy with the Game Genie, you probably don't have many days left, bro. You shouldn't be watching this video, so you should log out, go outside, touch some grass for the last time. But if you could just please hit the like button on the way out, I would really appreciate that. You see, the Game Shark was just a Game Boy cartridge that I would use to make my Pokemon game cartridge hacked to all hell. You gotta catch them all, right? Well, that's not gonna be very hard because I now have unlimited Master Balls. This shit was sold at Toys R Us. Imagine going into Walmart today and being like, yes, please, I'll take one aimbot and, wall hacks with my Fortnite, please. Thank you. And they would just give you cheats for your game, dude. It felt illegal. It really did. But it wasn't illegal, and for good reason. Who was I hurting by giving myself unlimited Master Balls? Sure, maybe I lost my 2 physical balls by removing all challenge from catching them all, but you know what? That's on me. I'm just hurting myself, if anything. Absolutely burning, scorching hot take here, coming straight from Earth to the sun. It's burning. Personally, I think cheating or hacking in video games isn't really that bad. But only if it affects your own gameplay and nobody else's. Okay, I know the take wasn't as hot as I hyped it up to be now. I know. Game developers realize this too. Believe it or not, they used to put hacks and cheats right into their games, like they intended to do it. Imagine some huge publisher like Activision in the current day, who probably spends a metric crap ton of money to try to prevent hacking and cheating in their games. Now imagine that same publisher approving cheats and hacks being put directly into the game by developers. Well, it literally did happen. You don't have to imagine it. Not long ago, we used to have this mystical thing in games. They were called cheat codes. Now, I don't think we still do this in games, but if you know of a newer game that's released somewhat recently that's still putting cheat codes and stuff into games, please comment down below and let me know, because I think that's super interesting and just something that we've kind of lost over the years. Developers realized that they could make their games have more life and more fun by putting some of these cheats directly into the game. And it didn't have to be anything crazy. Maybe it's just gonna make your character's head really big. Or maybe it removes the gravity from this game. Or maybe it makes it so you literally can't die and makes the game super easy. There was all vast ranging types of cheat codes that were in all different types of games in the 90s and early 2000s. My favorite example of cheats in a game has gotta be the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, published by none other than Activision themselves. The cheat codes in these games were so iconic that I look back more fondly on cheating in the Tony Hawk games than I do playing them the way that they were intended to be played. Here's a list of the cheats they used to put in the Tony Hawk games, man. It's a lot. It's pretty crazy. Also, why did every single game in the early 2000s have a big head cheat code? What was the deal with the big heads? I was missing something and I still am. Can someone tell me why? Why the big heads? The Tony Hawk games were just a few in a pool of a majority of games that had cheat code support at the time. Hell, I think if you fired up Grand Theft Auto Vice City on your PS2 right now and punched in R2, R2, L1, R2, left down, right up, that you would get the unlimited weapons cheat code or some sort of weapons cheat code. Cheats and hacks in games were actually so prevalent in this era that you could go to a store like Barnes & Noble and buy a book that was like cheat codes in various games. Just a whole list of cheats that were for different games, and you went to the bookstore and bought it. So culturally, where did the shift happen, where cheating and hacking was no longer cool in video games? The shift happened when competitive online games became the most popular type of game on the planet. Look at the most played or viewed game on any platform right now. It's going to be your competitive esports type titles that stick around for many, many years. They're just the most popular. I think it's a fact that not many people could argue. Cheating and hacking in these types of games is not looked upon fondly, and I'm sure you can figure out why. Don't let the mainstream media fool you guys. You think hackers are looking cool like this, but they don't, man. They look like this. They look like this guy, this little guy. And that Dorito finger dusted fuck sucks ass compared to the 8-year-old version of myself who was using a Game Shark to get unlimited Master Balls in the Pokemon game. The sad part is that 8-year-old who's hacking in your favorite Battle Royale lobby right now probably has the same mindset that I had when I was 9 years old, which was, haha, game easier now. Yeah, fun. Have you guys tried to play one of the older Call of Duty games in the last, I don't know, decade? Go back and try to play like Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox 360 right now. It's going to be absolutely slammed full of hackers. Every single lobby is just going to be completely full of hackers. What is the fun in that for anyone, including the hackers? I really don't get it. Because the most popular games are now these competitive PvP style games, when you cheat in it, it's not just affecting you and your game, man. It's affecting the whole lobby. It's affecting everybody who plays that game. Even the people that you're not playing against actively, you're negatively impacting them, whether it's on the leaderboards or just, you know, you're ruining everyone else's experience. And that's why cheating and hacking is looked upon so absolutely poorly in the present day. And it should be. Let's remove that Dorito dusted fingered kid and all the other ones from the equation, because if they're just a child hacking in a game, they're dumb, naive, and they'll probably look back at it stupidly. But if you are an adult playing an online competitive game and you are cheating or hacking in it, listen to me. Yourself. In game, of course. No, for real, dude. If you hack in a competitive game, you have something wrong with you. Like, straight up, something wrong with you, dude. You have to be some kind of narcissistic piece of crap if you don't see the problem with ruining every single other person's online experience because you want to cheat in a game. Not to mention, you're not gaining anything by this because you know that you're cheating. So, like, what are you really accomplishing, dude? The only way you'd gain anything from this is if you could somehow farm all of the tears from all of your enemies that you've defeated in your game, and then you could desalinate those tears and sell them to Nestle for drinking water. I don't think you're doing that, though. I definitely drew some inspiration for this video from Goat's Tarkov video that recently blew up on YouTube and showed everyone that Tarkov has an actually insane cheating problem. Now, I'm not going to summarize his entire 40-minute long video, but just know this. I will never, and I mean never, put a single second of my life into Tarkov, and that's sad because I was kind of interested in Tarkov and in extraction shooters in general, and I'm just going to have to find a different one. Essentially, the very, very, very short summary of his video is that every single lobby in Tarkov has a cheater in it. Hacking and cheating really does seem to be a big problem in FPS games more than anything, with aimbots and wall hacks. That's like the most common thing I see in the competitive gaming scene right now. What a time to be an online gamer, am I right, boys? Woohoo! What is the logic in hacking in an online game? Like, what is the point? If you win and you're hacking, obviously, then you're just upsetting everyone around you, which, like, fuck off, dude. And if you win and you hide that you're hacking, you're really just lying to yourself, so good job on that, buddy. If you take the time out of your life to earn respect in a game by cheating in it and climbing to the very highest rank or whatever, you're just a liar and a cheater to yourself. And someday you will be found out, and then you will be witch hunt off of the game forever. And it's gonna suck for you. Just don't cheat, man. Just don't do it. You're not getting good at the game, you're not improving, so what are you actually gaining? I saw this guy in a Sunny V2 video shout out as if he needs a shout out from me with his 18 billion subscribers. And essentially, this guy got all the way to the pro level in Counter-Strike. He was at a LAN event. He was on the big stage, okay? He made it, bro. He was participating. I think it was Indian Counter-Strike, dude. He was playing in like an Indian Counter-Strike Pro League. And this man had an aimbot on stage at LAN. They caught his ass. He was cheating at a tournament in person with his 4 teammates on stage with him. He was cheating, bro. And then, of course, the referees come up and they're like, excuse me, sir, we need to see if you have hacks on this computer. And he was like, fuck off, dude. Get away from me. Get away from me, bro. And it was just like this hilarious scene. And it's just... How much of a narcissist do you think that guy is? Jesus Christ. The absolute amount of mental insanity that you must have to get to the pro level in a game where you're on a real team with real sponsorships with a real contract and you're aimbotting on stage, dude. I just can't wrap my head around it even a little bit. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, dude. Like, you're living your whole life as a lie or something. Wow. There's sick people out there, man.